Hello friends, welcome back. Today we'll be discussing on the Fury application that we planned in our part 2 tutorial. So in case you haven't yet get a chance to look at, just click on the I button and you can get a preview like what exactly that discussion we had on the App on Cloud where we built a CDS service right from scratch. So that service we are planning to consume from a Fury application. So we'll be using a Fury elements, right? So this application will build in Web IDE. I think most of you are already aware of this Web IDE is getting retired by 13th of November, and it's of course on the trial users. I'm just telling it is not for the licensed user. So in case you have done certain POCs or any work that you would like to keep it with you, make sure to download it, or maybe you can use a Git provision to to push all the changes to Git, and you can just keep somewhere as a repository so that in future you can just take a look if you need it. Okay. So good, we have still some time. I'll just try to explore much whatever we can get a chance till this period to create certain tutorials on WebID. Okay, so today we are building up that Fury elements using Web ID only. So, so just to call out, this is the service. You can just if you just okay, let me just log out first. Okay, otherwise uh, possibly I won't be able to tell you what. Okay, so just if you just log in to your cloud account, it takes a little time. Sign in again. Okay, so let me sign in back. Okay, if you just get into your cloud account, right, and you will most probably, I think the home page, I'm not sure if I could able to get into this home page. Perfect. So here you see like no more this web ID option is available, right? SAP has keeping business application studio, which is a powerful it says like the next generation's web ID, right? Like web based ID. So it is, to me it looks like a Visual Studio Code only, but it's a web version. Okay, but anyway, definitely a lot of features put into this tool. For example, we'll be able to do account handling with a command line interfacing. So it is attached terminal, and just like we have in Visual Studio Code. So similar way that we, just kind of a flavor you can, if you already have Visual Studio Code, you definitely can make a match with this, how things are, looks. But anyway, you see no more in this particular page. You will have a provision to see anything about Web IDE. It's not available, okay, anymore. Cool. Okay, so then how we can get into, so you just have to enter into your trial account and you will get into your trial instance. It's taking time to get into. Fine. So this is my trial instance. If we just go inside, you have to just check the subscriptions. Okay. In case you haven't yet subscribed, which is definitely not possible, all you guys are working. So I believe it definitely should be subscribed. Otherwise, you need to subscribe this service, and you just click on go to application. Okay. So now this ID is working. And my instance is actually AWS Frankfurt data center. Okay, you see that it's basically 13 November is the last day. SAP is already announcing this thing. Okay, closing it. My workspace is empty. Close the console. Okay, so okay, just to recap, like what we did this project earlier, right? So we created all CDS views, headers and item sales or applications. We added a behavioral definition, right? Okay, so something, not sure. Yeah, so behavioral definitions we added a service definition, and finally we did a service binding. right? So in this service binding, if you go and just take a preview, you will see like how this preview options is opening. I mean, how this preview looks. Okay, so you click on go. Cool. You see certain data that we have over here. If you just go inside, you have all the materials and all, right? So this is the application that we built last time. Fantastic. So now the same thing was in preview mode, right? And we have to create a new, a complete kind of a transactional application using a Fiori elements, right? Okay, so to do that, let's go once more to Web ID. Right click, create new, and you have to do a project from template. Okay, so in this case, if you by default it's selected to Neo or ABAP, you make sure you just keep it Cloud Foundry, right? Because we did it all things we basically put it into Cloud Foundry. So select Cloud Foundry, and you will have a option called multi-target application. Okay, MTA. So select this one and go move forward. Project name, let's say MTA SO demo, sales order demo, something like this. Okay. So make sure you use HTML5 application repository. Description is optional. I'm just leaving it as it is. Okay. So I'm going to create an application where I have that MTA YML file. Okay. So this file is basically used for your cloud deployment. Okay. Anyway, this is not our part of interest. So what we have to do after, so you create a container, kind of a multi target kind of an application, and it can host different kind of things inside. For example, I'll be hosting HTML5 to contain my web application, right? So for that, if you go and click on your HTML5 module, okay, and let's say go here and click on your Fiori elements list report, let's say we're going to build, put some module name, I don't know, maybe HTML SO, sorry, and then some title, let's say sales order demo, something, namespace, let's say com.sap dot sorry dot so. Next, right? So this is some HTML5 application I have built. Now uh, if you just select this SAP Cloud Platform, you see nothing is coming, right? Because my uh, our clouds, I mean our CDS service, what we created in our last tutorial, right? So that's actually residing at the SCP. So that service we should see over here, but it's not coming. So then what, in case it's not coming, what the things you have to do is you just right click. You have to do a little bit of project setup. Go to project settings, click on Cloud Foundry. It is by default, it will be selected. Make sure you just select this one. Okay, now API endpoint, right? API endpoint means, uh, I mean, where you have your CDS service loaded. I mean, same, kind of email ID you prefer. I'll be recommending to use, okay, because you can have multiple, SAP trial instance login credentials could be possible, but make sure you have you are using the same web ID credentials as well your the cloud when you create the instance. The first tutorial we created the instance, right, with our user ID. So the same user ID and things we have to use. Okay, now to get into the endpoint, I already told how to check. In case you are not able to recollect, just quickly. Okay, I'm just come completely out of this. Okay, I get into once more, and I have to check the where my cloud or endpoint is. So let's trial. Okay, so here is my API endpoint. Okay, so this is the endpoint that I have to select. So go there, drop down. This is my endpoint. It's automatically selecting all my dev and space, right? Fantastic. Save it. Okay, once you do this one, make sure you are enabling your cloud service with your multi-tier application. So just go and new, you have to use SAP Cloud Platform Service. Once you do it, once you set up this project configurations, then only you will see the services are available. Okay, make sure you can start something called ABAP trial welcome. Next, and you have to now select from the drop down to use instance. Okay, because already we had this instance before, right? So what is that instance we created? ABAP cloud. That is an instance we created. Put a resource name. Let's say we call it sales demo, something like this. Click on finish. Okay, so you have basically linked that cloud to cloud. That integrations basically is happening now. We are done with this. So now again retry creating that HTML5 application, HTML5 module. Okay, so we are trying something called Fiori elements. Select it. Next, again let's set it cells HTML module. Title basically cells order demo. Namespace com dot sap, right, dot cells. Okay, so what I'm expecting now, go to this cloud platform. Now this sales demo is available because I am basically, this is an instance where all the services are currently connected. Means this is a kind of a shared service, right? I told, right? ABAP Cloud is a shared service. So many developers are doing the same thing. So all their services will be actually connected under this sales demo. That is because this is kind of an alias I've just created. Okay, so let's drop down it. Okay, so here we have to search the service. What the service we created? We created the service, binding called is HZSP underscore SO. So something we have to search from this list. I'm not sure where it should be a little bit. Yeah, ZSB SO, right? If we just expand little, you'll see the artifacts that we created, right? That time. See SO header, SO item, unit of measure. If you go there in the preview, SO header, SO item, I'm not sure why it's not coming, but anyway, SO header and SO item, and this is what we created, right? So let's select this one. What happened? Taking time. Anyway, let's click one more. Yeah, so once next is enabled, you just need to wait a little to extract the annotations, right? Because all sorry, all the annotations you put into the CDS, right, consumption view. So now here all the annotations get extracted. JDSB SOVAN, right? So that's annotations. So I'm just selecting all, click on next. Here we have to just make a data binding. Okay, so our collections, I mean the main uh, uh, space is basically header, right? From header is my kind of application face, and from there I'll go to the item, right? And that's what here, just binding. Okay, just click on this enable flexible column layout. It basically provides a very nice three kind of windows so that you can make things quite easily. You can create the data entry will become quite good experience. Click on finish, and cool, the application is created without any codings, nothing we have done, just the application created, right? So that is the beauty here. Okay, so now you see all this web app, all component, manifest, everything, new app.json, it's all connected, right? Okay, so good, all things are fine. Okay, so what next you have to do? Of course, you have to test it. So select this one, not this one. Okay, this is the container. So select this one, this is an application. So now execute this with the Fiori Launchpad. What we are expecting? I'm expecting the same kind of UI that we used to have in our preview mode, but obviously certain little capabilities you might see, and that is, you know, I'm not sure. It will take little time. Let's wait for some time. Okay, let me just pause the video. Sales HTML, this kind of module which we created, it's here. So we can click on this application. Okay, awesome. So same application, same kind of an UI we're able to see. So click on this go button, same data, right? So in the Mozilla, you can see the data which was the data preview, and this is our Fiori application. Cool, right? Fine. So let's go inside. You see, because of the flexible column layout, it appears a little different, right? So if you just drill down further, you see another layer. So this is your header, this is your first item, and this is your item detail page. Cool, right? Okay, so you can just update, let's say 20 as a quantity. I want to update. I'm saving this data, and 20 gets updated. So you can just expand and enter item detail only. You'll be able to see. If you just close it, see, back to the original screen, right? Okay, so let's do something more. So you see, if I just refresh this application once more. Okay, see, the data by default is not appearing. You need to click the go button, right? So to make it always, the data should fetch by default, what you can do is you click on here in the standardism thing. So click on the manage, and you need to just apply automatically checkbox, right? Click on OK, and okay, so let's refresh once more. I don't know whether it gets saved or not. Sometimes it doesn't get saved also. I will see. No, it didn't get saved. Try once more. Okay, click and go. Data comes. So let's see once more. Okay, so now really, if this checkbox gets saved properly, then we don't need to click the go button again and again. It's not. So let's save as custom, set as default, applied automatically, save. Okay, so now no, it is not getting saved. Why? See, apply automatically, that checkbox is not getting saved somehow. Okay, I'm not sure. I think everything looks fine. Anyway, so we'll see. For the time being, just park this out, and let's focus something different topic now. Yeah, so ideally I'm expecting this go button should be auto, executed rather than I click every time. Okay, fine. So next, create one more record. Okay, sales order, let's say 2, sales order 5601, division again, same thing. Again, my name, creating, let's say, okay, saving the data. So my second sales order I created, right? Now, if I just want to delete it, I have to delete one by one, right? I cannot do a multi-select. So can I do some changes in the application so that this is enabled? For that, you can just go here. Let me switch up this console and click on the manifest.json, right? And go to code editor. you can go to the page. This is my header page, right? In the settings, you can just put something like multi select. Make sure S is capital. Okay, set it to true. So then I can save it, and let's restart this application once more, closing this one. So what I'm expecting is, see, now it becomes a checkbox. So if I just select go, you will see that you have both the records we can select with a multi-select options, right? Cool. So now we have a provision now to delete both the records together. Let's click on delete. Fantastic. Now we have a provision to delete multiple records, right? A very simple setting that we can change. Okay. This service, whatever we built, right? I told like we have to use the same email ID, but it not necessarily is kind of a hard stop, okay? Because just for the convenience and your better control on your data set, so that you understand. But eventually you can, you can keep your CDS into your US data center, and you can also access from your Europe data center. Okay, it's not nothing like a hard stop that you have to keep both things in same, but provided like you have your login credentials so that you can connect with your endpoint, and that is quite important. Okay, so now one interesting thing I already mentioned in our last tutorial, like we should not keep our annotations on the consumption view. Better we should keep it separate, in a separate place. And how to keep it in separate, and why should you keep it separate, right? So very simple, like always you know, like your application should not be tightly coupled, right? So more your application is loosely coupled or maybe much more layering, it is easy for scalability and maintenance, right? So similar, concepts applied here as well. So your annotations, UI annotations is just for your, screens, for the UI aspects. It's nothing to do with your, with your elements for or kind of a business logic, right? It's only serving the UI, how the UI will look. So we should keep our SAP recommendation, or the kind of a concept that they have offered is called a metadata extension, right? So we have a little bit look into this, what this metadata extension is and how we can deal with it. Okay, so if you just can remember, if your CDS header, if you go, you see all the annotations are residing over here. Okay, so to keep it separate, you right click and click on something called metadata extension, right? You can put it metadata extension here, and putting like a metadata extension for a header. If I just click on next, finish, it will have my new artifacts it will create, called metadata layer and something like this. Okay, before you just create this extension, one thing is quite important, and that is your this particular CDS should be extension allowed. So for that, at the rate metadata allow extension should be true. Okay, so that is one thing. You just have to activate this one, otherwise your things will not work. Okay, its object is activated. This is my metadata. Let's close others to make it little clean the environment. Okay, so you just have to put a control space, insert all elements. You just need to remove whichever you don't want. So it's saying like the layer is needs to be put something. What you have to put? You put shift, you put hash and control space. So these are the possible layering. Okay, so it's basically core means if SAP is offering any Fiori standard application, so they will put core also as annotations, like so. And we as a we will be basically keeping it as a partner, because we're the partner kind of things that we are having the provision. So partner will be keep it like that. But here what happens is these are all comes kind of a priority. Okay, to remember how the priority works, I just think about CLIPC. Okay, just kind of my way of remembering the priority list. So kind of a C for core, L for localization, and I for industry, CLI. Then P for partner and C for customer, so CLIPC. Okay, so if I have this partner, means it's automatically taking more priority. So if I make any changes over here, then that will be give them, get the more importance than what SAP has offered, right? So fantastic way SAP has given the provision to take a control on that. So if you have just keep it separate and keep it in a metadata extension, then only this capabilities you will be able to leverage. So let's put it partner. What next? Okay, so I'll not do much of typing again. I'm a little lazy. So what I'll do, I'll just copy all the things, all the annotations for header I had. Oh, it's not able to select properly. Let's try once more. I'm just copying all the annotations for header. So I'm keeping it inside my annotations metadata extensions for header. So header is done. Fantastic. What next? For sales org, let's go to the CDS once more. Copy the sales org annotations, right? So it's not a view, right? So don't think like you will have a key. No, it's basically a metadata extension. So only the UI capabilities. Okay, just not getting confused. Okay, for division, let's copy the division UI and just go once more over here. Put it division, and the next is basically your distribution channel. So go here, uh, copy this distribution channel, copy it, put it into your distribution channel. Next is created by. Let's say copy the created by annotations, put it into again our metadata extension file, and finally the created date. Okay, so let's copy this created date and keep it over here. We are done. Okay, so now activate this one. Okay, so fine. So my metadata extension is now active. So let's go to service definitions, service binding once more. Click on this service URL. Okay, let's relog in once. Okay, so now this is the service. I can just put dollar metadata. You see, I am able to see the dollar metadata. So now if I go to here, go to sales order header, let's just for the checking part, we'll just comment this UI. Let's say create date. I'm just commenting. Okay, so I'm just putting an toggle comment. Yeah, so I'm activating it. So my CDS doesn't have this annotations for created date, right? But my metadata extension does have, right? So I just wanted to show like if I now try out the same application, Fiori application, if I or maybe from the binding, if we just go for preview. Okay, we need to select something. Let's click on header. If I go for preview, how it works? Is it creating any trouble? No, created by created date, something not correct. So that means we need to okay. Yeah, that sorry, we are right, because we have just have our metadata extension does have the UI for created date, but our you know the CDS doesn't have this, correct? So if I just take out, I will not do that way. So this is something you can see like from the metadata extension the UI is coming up. Okay, fantastic. So now let's go to our Fiori application once more. Restart this application. Okay, so what we are expecting, the same thing, no change, right? Okay, that's what we are expecting. So let's see whether it is having any problem? No problem, right? Same created and created by, all things are coming properly. If I click on go, no data because we didn't we deleted last time all the data, right? So let's create one quickly, just to have things shown properly. So now just to check my metadata extension is actually being used and not from CDS. So what we can do, just we can just right click on the CDS and just toggle comment and activate it, right? So I'm just have activated my CDS without any annotations for the create date. Let's for example. So now if I run my Fury application once more, right? So ideally, if there is an impact for this change, the create date should not be displayed, right? But we can see the create date still shown. Got it? So that means it is not actually the UI is not being referred from the CDS anymore. Rather, it is actually checking from the metadata extension. Okay, so now one quick thing before I close, I'm just have created it as a, sorry, where is my metadata extension? It's created over here. So let's say this is my metadata extension with the partner as a priority, right? So let's do a little more where we'll hide, let's say created date and created by. Okay, so for that, on the same CDS, right click, new metadata extension, we put shed me, but this time let's say I'm giving a name underscore C because the highest priority of partner is customer, right? Okay, so again, I'm just giving a description, finish. Okay, so now for the layer, what you have to do, you can anticipate, shift will put customer because that will take the more priority than partner, right? That is, as I told before. And what else you have to do? Very simple. We just have to take this created date and these two things, copying and putting it over here. Okay, but I don't need all the UI because my intention is to hide those things. So at the rate UI dot, I don't know what's happened, hidden true. This is the annotations I want to use. Copying the same thing, applying it for here as well. So now activating it. So what is your and expectation would be that created date and created by should be hidden from the application because I'm just creating another metadata extension layer with a priority as customer, right? So this should take more precedence. So let's see whether that concept really works or not. Let's restart and hopefully cool, right? So now the concept works, like how this metadata extension works and how this layering is really offered by SAP is quite comfortable and without any much noise and much coding and things. You can separate your metadata, your annotations rather, and you can just take care of the page. Okay, one thing is like whenever your annotations you want to handle it out, always try to get it done from the CDS side, not from the UI side. Okay, just to be sure because your UI today is Fury, you don't know tomorrow what will going to happen, but your CDS will remain as it is. So having the UI at the CDS layer means your UI should be whatever the effort been spent to build the UI, it remains there, and whatever the new technology appears in down the line, right? So you no need to redo the things. That is one important thing. Okay, so next tutorial, I'll try to demonstrate the unmanaged way, means where I'll just write up certain, enhancements on this particular application that we have built. Now, with some all the crude operations will be, on our own. We have to write the logic. So hopefully this, discussions was fruitful to you, or maybe informative, I would say. In case you would like to put your comment like good, bad, ugly, whatever you think, You just do it, share your opinion, and if you like this video, kindly share with your friends as well. And stay tuned for the next tutorial where we'll create the application in more unmanaged way. Okay, till then, goodbye.